Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Going good. I don't know. He can't hear me, but I'm gonna pretend that he can. He's listening. He can't hear. I can hear him
Ayush at all. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm just getting.
Yeah. So Roman is saying that you should do the introduction first, then I can leave the meeting and we can start again, because that's what always happens. Me and Mike doing the stream, it's really normal. So I'm going to rejoin. I'm leaving Mike with you guys for a minute.
I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me, because when I look at the live stream, Roman looks crystal clear and I look terrible. So let's see how that goes. Fingers crossed everyone can see me and hear me. It's so weird how Ayush and I just can't seem to stream together without... but everyone else can hear him. It's weird how everyone else can hear him and they can't hear. I can't hear him. So it's like he turns into some kind of robot. So yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at chat. Glenn, good to see you, my friend. Moses, Web3, Gerard as well. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Jonathan is listening and watching and finds it all hilarious. That's always what we want to hear. Why don't you pretend you can hear each other? Let's see. I can hear Ayush in the background. Let's see if we can keep it that way. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have him back with us. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is what I don't understand about Jonathan. Jonathan just sits there in the background on the chat, you know, and it's basically telling us what to do. Yeah, I know about the new Discord server, Jonathan. I was working on the damn project. My God, man, honestly, it's just the man is relentless, isn't he? Anyway, good to see you guys. Hope you're all well. Hope you have joined the new Discord. If you haven't already, where have you been? What have you been doing? Why haven't you joined? Well, not the new Discord, but the merged Discord. We're going to be bringing crypto over to futures and bringing all of our tokenized madness to the futures side of things. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Discord. If you're part of the original crypto Discord, check out announcements. You'll find all the details in there. There is also a giveaway in there as well. So if you didn't want to be part of the Discord, then there's extra incentive because there's giveaways as well. But we know you guys love a good giveaway. So yeah. Ayush, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me first of all? Then we can.
I can indeed.
Finally find the stream where we can hear each other. So yeah.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, for some reason the streaming gods don't want us to stream together. Ayush, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Hopefully
maybe
today we can.
Because
hopefully we can stay on the right side
strategy.
today. Yeah, exactly. But stay on the right side of the trading gods today, and avoid upsetting them if we can.
Yeah.
What's been happening, man? You've been catching any nice trades the last few days?
To be honest, mostly on the PAX-G. Really active on the pair than any other, but we can take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the coins first, then talk about the pair, which I'm really loving it these days on the lower time frame. I think many of our viewers know already. Mike filming on the Nokia 3310. Oh,
I wish I was. It might improve things, but I honestly don't know what it is, Glenn. I'm on a Insta 360 Pro something or other. I can't remember the name of it. It's supposed to be a 4K camera. So I don't know why I'm coming up. I can see myself on the stream. I'm looking ridiculous. I can see on my screen here.
Yeah.
On the TV, I look pretty bad as well. I look pretty crap on the TV. So I don't know what's happening, Glenn. YouTube just doesn't want me to look that good. YouTube wants me to be a bit pixelated. Maybe it's to save the screens on your phone or your TV.
I can give you a tip. I think your tracker is on in your camera because I have the tracker feature in my camera as well because it's Osmo Pocket 3. If you turn it off, it will work properly. That's what I have seen many times. So if you turn off the tracker, it will work. That's a trick I use for my camera.
Let's give that a go. Let me just open up the settings for it. And
because even if your internet is really good, your camera would still show you in pixels.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Or maybe it was working hard. Maybe what you might be using for a longer run. Is it hot? The camera.
Is the camera hot?
No. Yeah. No.
No, it's only just turned on. All right. I've turned the tracking off. Let's see if that helps.
Yeah.
And we'll see how we get on. We get on. Let guys, if you notice any improvement, it should be fine.
Yeah. Hello, Arjun Levy, welcome to the stream. I see your name for the first time here. Make sure to subscribe. Tradeify Crypto. We are very close to 2,000 subscribers, and we do many giveaways when we hit subscriber target every time, like we did when we hit the 1,000. So right now, I think I have to share my screen.
I can see your screen. Yeah, Glenn, all the updates I think are valid, but I will check again. But it looks okay. Anyway, I'll look at that. Ayush, feel free to
thank you
crack
so
on.
Much. Yeah. So I want to know your view on the Bitcoin, Mike, because we are actually breaking below the trend line support. Maybe you can see a bearish flag which was forming like we always form on the high time frame. This one is a little bit smaller. Do you think I think this was the last recorrection high we had in the Bitcoin, and now it's just gonna fall to the previous swing low, to the 59,000 in Bitcoin, or it's just a manipulation for the lower side and continue higher?
Honestly, I think we could go lower.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah, I do think we could go lower. The bottom that we created on the 6th of June, or the 5th to the 6th of June, down there you've got an inside bar on the daily, which to me acts as a level of liquidity that price might want to revisit. The fact that we broke past the previous lows of 6th of Feb also to me suggests that we haven't maintained that support area. So that's why I'm expecting us to potentially actually go lower before we start to see any bullish run. I don't think the bullish run's happening yet. I think it's coming later. So I think we're going to see more liquidation down to the lower side. Start really testing the resolve of long-term holders, and see if there's going to be more people trying to cash out. Because at the end of the day, there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin available, right?
Yeah.
And so the bigger institutions, they've got stronger hands that they can hold on to a lower price, expecting more supply to come in, and then buy it at a lower price. That's my kind of rough, uneducated guess, if I'm honest.
What was that? Uneducated.
Uneducated guess. Yeah, I'm an uneducated swine. Jack of all trades, master of none.
That's the right word to use instead of saying the policy of like not a financial advice and stuff. Save.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I like it. So on the daily, I see that there's two candles on the Friday, 19 June 2026, and the beside one is what actually reacting like a support. Now, price closed below. I feel we might see maybe a retest at this level and then continue lower, because this higher time frame area is going to act as resistance. So this is something like this we might see in the Bitcoin. But for that, let's take a look at Ethereum and compare the strength and weakness, which pair is dying to take the swing low first than the other. So just switching on the Ethereum and maybe switching back to Bitcoin to check the strength, and I feel there's not much difference in the price action, to be honest, on the higher time frame. But we have same resistance level forming in the Ethereum as well, which is this one, the wick support turning into resistance on the daily time frame, because I really like to use this time frame for my higher time frame bias on the Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it looks really clear to me, because we have minor support at this level, and the final one is this. So the idea would be something like this for me on the Ethereum. I know the line looks really good right now, but all we can do is execute when the trade forms on the lower time frame. On the 4-hour, okay, this is something I was expecting price to do, but instead we closed lower. So I think there will be a good recorrection, and we also have range forming in this area. Let me turn off this indicator. We have this many transactions happening at this price level, so I feel this area can be, so I'm going to use this previous support level. What I use is the edge of the high volume node as the supply and demand, which really aligns with the price tapping at the same level, which is at 1701 on the Ethereum. That can be next resistance level for us on the Ethereum. Not exact, but I will take a really closer look at price when price is reaching at this level, or maybe continue lower from this high volume node. So currently the rejection was because as you guys know, that I use the edge of the higher time frame, high volume node as support. So it really makes sense, but I want price to just maintain the volatility below the high volume node. So the idea is really clear. If we close with good volume above this LVN, then I think the bias will flip and will go bullish. If not, then bearish. Simple as that on Ethereum and Bitcoin. And let's take a look at a pair so Doge is weakest among the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look at this dog doing the dog thing, closing below this higher time frame. I think something like this is what Mike expecting on the Bitcoin, which we have on the Doge. And Mike is not with us. It's me only. Anyway, we'll continue the stream. Okay. So looking at the daily time frame, we have same scenario on Doge, but you guys know that I always talk about the strength and weakness on the only with Ethereum and Bitcoin. But now today, I'm gonna focus on Doge because it's weaker, and it is actually forming a really good setup on the higher time frame, because I have only one area to look at, which is the daily. So Mike is saying that restarting and didn't want to interrupt you. Oh, that's all fine. I'm hoping you'll be back again with no issues with the stream. So looking at this area, I feel it is much cleaner than Ethereum and Bitcoin on higher time frame for any swing trade. So going back to 4-hour, we have this previous support can act as resistance again. So this entire area, let me mark this with this tool here and here. So this entire area is going to act as a resistance area for me on the Doge. I'm going to remove these lines and I'm going to mark this swing low. So I'm expecting, if price take a good retest back in the range to fill this inefficiency or imbalance, a seller imbalance area, then price can continue lower. So what I would like to have in this area is when price going back in that imbalance area, where buyers should be aggressive but getting absorbed, because I'm assuming that there would be some sell limit orders placed at this level. the passive players. So we have aggressive player going higher, and passive players could be stronger than the aggressive one. So all the aggressive buy orders will be absorbed and everything will be pushed lower, because I'm assuming that in future we'll have the passive sell limit orders at the price level. For that, I'm not saying assume. I think I said assume 2-3 times, but we have many order flow tools available in the market for crypto, for futures, for forex. We have not forex. I have not heard about any platform where I can trade order flow with forex, but for futures and crypto, we have many platforms where you can and you can take a look at the limit orders on the heat map and stuff in the crypto market as well. So I think the Glenn is actually using the what I can say is what it's called ATAS X, which is really working well for him on the and also it's free for crypto. So you guys can give it a try if you are someone who trades order flow and stuff like that. But if you are someone who trades on TradingView using normal candlesticks, you can just take I have Tradeify Crypto have a video uploaded there where I use normal candlestick wicks as supply demand on the TradingView. Because for people who are really new in the market and don't really know how to mark the supply demand zone, that's a basic level of understanding how to mark supply demand. And if you want to improve it a little more, in future, maybe soon, we're going to upload a lot of videos related order flow. Me and Anastasia are working on many topics coming in the future, which is going to boost your confidence in market to analyze proper key levels. Before we analyze some coins, let's take a look at what chat have for us. Arjun is saying, what's your prediction last bottom of the bear market? Arjun, to be honest, people who predicts the bottom and top are not available in the live session right now. So we have to wait for them, because I am someone who is more active on the lower time frame. Even if I'll share my view, I would not guarantee that this is something I'm looking at on the higher time frame. But on lower time frame, you can ask me anything if you are facing any issue. So now let's take a look at Solana. Is it? Oh my God. Solana is totally different. Oh my, let's go back. Can you guys see this? I mean, Solana is like, I am the more stronger one. I think selling Solana is not good because it is not weaker. The primary trend on the higher time frame in the crypto market currently is bearish. So what, as a crypto trader, or maybe as intraday trader, our goal is to follow the trend. The higher time frame trend is bearish and the lower time frame is bearish as well. So in order to be with the proper trend, you have, maybe not have to, but you should be trading with the pair which is more weaker and following the higher time frame trend. So I feel Solana is something which is very strong, and we also have support forming. I usually don't use all of the trend line support and stuff, but sometimes they do make sense. I don't know why am I laughing, but I'm not gonna say something just came into my mind. So cool, I understand. Yeah, so it's like I think you should join. Don't leave the second hour. We have Derek coming in. He will be sharing amazing information about the crypto market, and you're gonna love it. So your answer to the question is gonna be answered properly in the second hour. So stick with us. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and we'll do the giveaway when we hit. For now, I'm the only one here. So Roman, what should be the next like target? He's saying 40. The ease he had when saying 40 is like, it's very normal hitting 40 likes every single day. It's like 40. It's 40. Like 200, 300, and 1,000. We have Luna here. Hello, welcome to the. Oh, I mean, you're a regular one, so Welcome, Mike. We have Mike with us again. I think he can't hear me again. That's
I
what
can
I'm
hear you.
assuming.
Can you hear me?
He can hear. Yeah, loud and clear.
But you're still getting a crappy feed from me for some reason.
On the YouTube as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at hype. I call it the NASDAQ of crypto market. And I think we are getting a retrace back in the zone, forming double top pattern on the higher time frame, rejecting this wicks before anything, before using any fancy tool. I should not call it fancy, but using anything which is difficult for newbies to use. Just take a look at wicks at the swing high and wait for price to aggressively push higher or maybe get absorbed. What I'm assuming, what kind of setup would have formed in this area on the order flow behind the candle scenes. So there would be many buyers trying to push the price higher. It's like the really aggressive. You can see this wick going higher, taking out all this high. I think oh, look at this. It was a trend. Yeah, what a perfect trend line liquidity we have on the high time frame. I don't know why today I'm really focused on marking trend lines. I love trend lines. From today, I'm a trend line trader. I don't use volume profile. I don't use candle. Just can you guys see something on the chart? Let me know if like something which matches with the line. It's looking really good. Oh, we have a lot of people typing in a chat. Hello, 3590. And I think your real name is G Low on the Discord. I know you, who you are. Blame the heat wave, Mike. 1.7k subscriber. Why not 100 likes? Because you are asking questions in the chat. You should just press the like button. Then we'll have 100 likes. Orihime, you guys should learn sign language. I mean, that's the last option we should use. I think that's really, thank you for the advice. Orihime, we'll try to learn something. It's like when price is going down, we'll be like something like this, or something like this when price going higher. Anyway, so I think we have 13 people. Let me reload my screen and see how many people are actually watching us right now. And let me know if you guys have any questions related, any technical difficulties you are facing on any coin, or maybe you want me to break down something on the crypto side. Love your work, mate. Thank you so much, Lucky LOHX. I have read your name for the first time on the channel. Make sure to subscribe. I think you are new here. And we are I think 15 people watching, 15 likes. Fair enough. We need more. The target is 40 likes for today, to do a giveaway, to do a duck race. And also we have Derek joining in the second hour, where he will be sharing a lot of stuff which I don't know. So I'm also gonna be quiet and listen everything he's going to share with us. So be ready with your pen and paper, because I have mine ready beside my table. So hype is, I think, finally taking some retest back in the zone. So taking a look at weekly, as you guys can see, we are coming back to this the next support level, which is nothing but a wick. You might be thinking, why am I not talking a lot about the volume profile and stuff today? I'm trying to show you guys that no matter what you use, it should be simple. So using wicks for now, and then we'll move back to again volume profile. Not using it always, because it's maybe sound really fancy to a lot of people, but you should be using something which really makes your journey ease when you're watching charts, instead of learning a lot of stuff to mark. I mean, learning 100 maybe 10 types of supply and demand videos and applying them on chart and doing nothing. Instead, learn one or two topics about supply and demand and backtest it, and you will somewhere master this quality. And I don't know, what am I saying? I think it's because maybe I'm not on the gold chart. I want some gold. I want some tax G in my life. So yeah, we are going there. We have 17 people watching. Hit the like button. We are going to do a giveaway at 40, and I'm gonna wait for the guy who buys likes for Tradeify crypto. I really love him. Like we say 50, he'll do 50. We love him. I don't know who are you. If you're watching, thank you so much. Going back to gold. So let's take a look at the daily chart, because that's where I'm mainly absent. So after taking out, let me just hide this one for now. For now, we're just going to talk about basic price action we have on our chart. Then we'll go with the volume profile and stuff. Why market came back, and again why we are going lower. That is something we will discuss later on. But for now, I'm really happy that price filled the wick. I really like to fill the wick on the high time frame. Oh, so we have Luna saying, we like your style, Ayush. You should always to keep simple, and that is perfect. It is not about, I really appreciate your comment, but the final goal is to keep it simple, because even if you see many people using a lot of stuff, like give me a minute and I'll open my Motive and you'll be like, what he is using. But that's what is really simple for me, because if you are going to keep or maybe make your model complicated, it will be really difficult for you to survive in this market for a longer run. So it is very important to make it simple and something which is consistently repeating on the chart. I should not say repeating, but a model which can give you enough confidence that you can survive in this market for a longer run to increase your lifespan. We have Lucky asking, which charts do you use for accurate volume profile in TradingView for crypto? Binance? Nice question. And the answer is, TradingView is not a platform to use volume profile. I use it only because it is somewhere 90% accurate to what we use in all markets. But the thing is, TradingView is a platform where it's best for people who trade using Japanese candlesticks, not volume profile. So answer to your question, you can use exo charts for proper volume profile data. You can use MMT. You can use, these are the two best doing for in the crypto sites, exo charts and MMT. And if you're someone who is trading maybe gold and stuff, you can use the futures platform where they provide the volume profile tools. Like I use Motive, we have ATAS X. Yeah, ATAS X also provides the free trial for crypto guys, so you can just test that platform, but never TradingView. I know I use it every single day with you guys in front of you, but I'm using it only because so you can understand that some basic thing. I mean, it's really good to have it on your chart in beginning. Then when you think you finally understand how to use that tool, it's time to move or maybe advance the thing which you're using. So Arjun is saying most of the indicators are there. What's you prefer? Are you asking about Motive? If Motive, I can share my screen right now and show you exactly what I use for myself in terms of volume profile and stuff. Lucky is saying, I agree 100%, much appreciate. I look up exo charts. Yes, they are the best currently. I'll put them first in terms of analyzing crypto market using volume profile and these numeric stuff is best. And the second is MMT, but my experience with MMT was not good. Maybe it can be different for you. So check both platforms and choose whatever is fitting your trading style. Okay, what him is saying, no, he meant out of all the indicators, which one do you prefer? I mean, indicator are, I should not call it an indicator. It's a tool which I use to on TradingView. The only indicator I use is higher time frame Fardi, and on the MotiWave, and thank you so much Orihime for simplifying. We have Mike again joining us for the third time.
No promises. No promises. Let's see. I'm gonna try. I've uninstalled, reinstalled, restarted. So
it's quite good than the last rise. Yeah, a little bit laggy, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, I'm still coming up, all pixelated and horrible. I don't know what's the problem here, guys. My apologies. Internet's fine. Nothing's blocking me. I genuinely have no idea what's going on.
My take on this is your voice is really clear. The only issue is with your camera or something like that. So if there would be some issue with the internet, yeah. Your voice should lag. Oh.
Yeah, we'll keep digging. All right. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Look, yeah, I lost the track anyway. So, what I was talking about? Yeah, about the indicator. So indicator and stuff, they are first of all laggy if you are using something, but personally I use indicator, which makes my work easy in market, like the daily opening marked by an indicator. Let me turn this on. So this is an indicator which marks the opening price, nothing else. There is no other use of this thing. Rest, I leave it on price. So there is no magical thing which is telling me to buy and sell in market, because nothing like that exists. Might exist in the future because of AI. I'm not promising anything, because there might be a robot saying, sell the market, and you have to sell. We have Sensei joining us. You guys can see him on the screen. Welcome, Jonathan. I can't hear him.
Hello, Padawan. How are you?
I'm really fine.
You've risen. I see you have now upgraded to IKEA background. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Very good, young Padawan. If I'm Sensei, then what is Mike?
Yeah,
sir.
He is with us. I thought he was not. Yeah.
It's weird. I don't think it's Mike or you, Roman. I think it's what we're using. It's the software that we're using. I think it's blocking somewhere. So I don't think it has anything to do. Yeah, so I don't think it has anything to do with our individual connections. We've tested it, and you know, sometimes we don't hear each other and things like that. So I think we'll be working on looking into potential alternatives, or at least have, you know, backups in case something happens. But I know we have a lot of stuff working on in the background, so there's going to be a lot of changes to the channel, to the whole thing we got going on here in the future. Lots of big plans for the future of Tradeify. So yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have something great set up in not too long. Yeah. I shorted SpaceX yesterday. Unfortunately I did not hold it long enough, but it's below. It looks like it's below listing price now.
dying.
Yeah, it's absolutely dying. The market doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Doesn't look good. Yeah, I think we'll have to. Well, we can discuss that outside the live stream when we have a good time to do so. Look into some troubleshooting, but there has been there are a few issues arising back and forth with connectivity issues, things like that. Let me see. I wasn't planning on getting on this this early now, so I'm just trying to get everything set up here, get the chat up, and everything. Get everything ready.
Yeah. So, till Jonathan is going to share his view, I'm gonna answer Lucky's question. Do you use other order flow tool like Footprint, candles, or big trade indicators? Yes, I do. Both of them. I think I should share my Motivate screen to share the exact interface which you mentioned in the chat. So I think you can see it right now in my chat. On the right side, you can see a volume profile, candlestick of the 5-minute chart, the big trades, the delta profile. On the left, it's footprint of the 30 range candle. Yeah, so that's what I use for PAXG, for gold, in crypto, in futures, in forex. Gold is famous everywhere. So yeah, this is my setup. If you have similar setups, you can just, if you want my templates, I would be happy to share with you guys in the Discord, but I'm greedy, so I'm gonna ask for some likes before I do so.
Yeah, good idea. Let's get those likes up.
Yeah.
Let's see how many likes can we get today. How many likes should we put a not a limit, but we should put an actually. What is it? What's the name? How many target? That's a target. We're looking for target.
We set it to 40.
Target 40. How many likes do we have now?
16.
16. What are you guys doing? Get that like number up. I'm sure you gotta hit the like. You're watching on YouTube. Hit that like. Just hit the like. Okay, let me see. We got SpaceX here. Let me pull up DX Trader, see if we can find any trades to anything to trade here. Actually, let me first go through the markets here. Scrolling down to crypto. We got Bitcoin within a range here. Okay, so looking at the daily, we did come down. We're hitting the range lows. This is. We're getting some volatile moves to the downside here. We've had some what's that sound? Is that the AC?
Yeah.
It's getting too hot in here. I come on the live and he's like, oh god damn, it's getting too hot here. Okay, so what do we have going on here? We have Trump. Trump had some comments on Iran, saying that Iran has agreed to the nuclear inspection and they are gonna release the funds that is frozen, the Iranian funds that are frozen. They have agreed to release those, but they're gonna put it in escrow. And that escrow account, they'll use the money to buy goods and medicine from the US. And then he says also that the Strait of Hormuz will remain open. Now let's just take a look at Brent, how it's reacting to that. Yeah, it's starting to come down to pre-war levels here. But it's not a risk on move. Oil is reacting to the situation in the Middle East, but then we look at gold. Gold is moving lower as well. We also have the US indices with NASDAQ leading the decline with a relatively strong move to the downside, hitting that 29.5K support region right here. This is a crucial level for NASDAQ to hold that support unless we're going to get a potential of a deeper correction. We got the US, we got the S&P 500 moving lower as well. Now, what I want to be focused on is obviously the things that we can actually trade here at Tradeify Crypto, and that's going to be PAXG, which is tokenized gold, and we're going to look at Bitcoin and some altcoins. And I'm thinking we get some good volatility here today. So the question for me is, okay, I'm going to pick an asset, and I'm gonna focus on that, and it's going to be Bitcoin or gold, and leaning towards crypto here, leaning towards Bitcoin. So that's going to be my two markets of focus for today's session. I'm going to try to keep it to one or two trades here today. I'm going to switch over to my DX Trader browser here. Let's see if we have anything interesting going on here. I'm doing some renovation here at home, so if there's like sound, I'll just have to mute my microphone.
Good mic quality.
Good. Okay, so what we have right now is obviously we just saw this level. This level broke to the downside. That happened earlier here today, and we reclaimed it, and now we're trading around that level. So I think this is going to be an important level for Bitcoin. If we're going to be holding that one and then stop moving higher, I might look for longs. And from an intraday perspective, or even a more of a scalping perspective, I think it makes sense to look at a move up into this level, because that's the next immediate resistance above. So that's the first resistance point, and then we're looking at the next resistance being that level. So that's on the 15-minute. Now, if you go down to the 5-minute, we can see that Bitcoin is in somewhat of a range, and then that level that we marked out turns into range highs. And then of course we got that high, it's not a high time frame support, but higher time frame support than what we're looking at right now. We can add a fib of this latest up move, and we can see that we are currently right inside that reload zone. We have dipped down slightly, and then of course the fibs are not that accurate given the fact that we're in a range. But I'm looking to potentially go long here, and depending on if we get any type of confirmation here. And the type of confirmation I want to see is exactly what happened in here, where we have sort of a W structure and then a break and retest right here that took us back up to this level. So that's what I'm looking at right here, and I want to see that on the 1 minute. The trade that I'm looking at is probably going to have an average entry of around this level. I would take profits up here, and I would be looking for at least a 2R on this trade. So I'm going to open. I'm going to be risking 0.5% on this one. And now it's just it's a waiting game, right? It's about the waiting game.
Yeah. But just about the value area, so I think this can be a good long on the lower time frame.
Yeah. It's just about staying patient here. Just need some type of confirmation here on the lower time frame. Some type of sign that we have a pause in the trend. We want to see momentum weakening. One good thing, obviously, if you want to do that, you want to be adding the RSI, and we can see right now the RSI is within the bearish range right here, and we had a breakout here. We entered the bullish range, which is between 40 and 80, I believe, and the bearish range is between 60 and 30, I think. So I'm not sure entirely if that's correct, but I do think so. So if we look at the 1 minute on the RSI, obviously we're starting to see the momentum is weakening, but of course on the 1 minute it's difficult. We want to look at maybe the 5 minute where we still have a good move here and a good structure. What I would like to see, though, it would be nice if we see the RSI in 1 minute starting to reclaim that 50. Start reclaiming that 50 level. That would be great. We have the first double type of double bottom right here. If we can just break above this level right here, we have that first confirmation. That would be my first initial. I can remove that. So that would be my first initial type of confirmation for this trade. Then I can have a very tight stop loss right here. But you see, well, actually on the 1 minute structure, this would be the first double bottom. We are getting that confirmation on RSI as well. We just need a breakout here. Can we put in a stop order here? Maybe that's what I'm going to do. Okay, create limit order. We're going to create a stop order, and we're going to be risking 0.5. And we want that stop order to be right there. So it's not going to be a limit order. It's going to be a stop order. I assume that is going to work. Yeah, okay. So we get a buy stop here. Buy stop here is slightly above that level to confirm a low time frame breakout right here. We have a very tight stop loss on this one, but it's a fairly good trade. It's a 2.7 R. Forming a low time frame range here. I'm liking that. I'm liking the fact that we're forming a range here, because the longer we trade at this level within this tightly confined range, we can also add the Bollinger Bands here to see the volatility, see if we're getting a volatility contraction. Mm-hmm. One, of course, is the BB width that you want to be adding, which maybe it isn't even on here. Yeah, Bollinger Bands width is right here. So let me minimize the RSI and put the BB width above, and then we're going to have the RSI below. Oh, look at that. It's got a big move to the downside there. Okay, now we're going to be removing that order. Now what we're looking at is, oh, look at that. Ayush crashed. It was such a volatile move that not even Ayush's computer could have handled that one. Is there anything going on right now that I should know about that might have caused this wick right here? Look how quickly that got bought up, though. It came down, hit those lows, took out the lows, and then very quickly got bought up here. So it's very interesting development here on that one. But that is a see, a lot of people probably went long a little bit too early here on Bitcoin. We see that Bollinger Bands width is coming down lower, but obviously volatility is picking up here now. Are we going to see a move lower? Is this a breakout to the downside? Maybe it is. Let's start thinking about other opportunities here or other alternatives. We know that that's the resistance where we want to take profit if we go long. But what about support? I think I have to adjust the levels here based on the price action we're seeing. Yep, that's the level right there. That's the one where we can see that we're getting. Okay, so 2 levels of interest. The first one is here because obviously when that level was broken, we had buyer seller stepping in and having an increase in momentum. So that's definitely an important level. Of course, this is an important level because it had a big violent move after hitting that support. And of course, we're going to be looking at a level down here. Now, considering that there's a lot of volatility right here, what I'm going to do here is, and this is of course a hedging account, not a netting account, which means we can open multiple different positions in different directions. And we are going to just place. Okay, let's zoom out to the 1 hour. If we go down here. Yep, okay. So I'm going to be placing an order here with a wide stop loss, a 1-to-1 risk to reward, just in case we have some crazy selling pressure and we can catch a wick on that move to the downside if it happens, right? So that's going to be that one. It's a buy limit right there. And we are then going to focus on the possible recovery here. Okay, so the move is slowing down. Now, the fact that we have that resistance level up here creates a very good opportunity to have a confirmation, because if we recover this level, I assume that we're going to be, the first retest of that level, there's going to be a rejection. Then if we recover this area, we have even more confirmation that we're going to get that move to the upside, because then the market has just grabbed a bunch of supply down here, and demand seems to perhaps be outperforming. So we'll see. But again, that first retest was that rejection. Now, do we have second charts? We don't have second charts on the Trader. But what you would see if you would go into the second chart is you would have this type of pattern where you have like consolidation, and then prices go down and then recovers, and you have a lower high, a higher low, and then it starts moving like this. And the setup is basically, enter here, stop loss here, and then TP up here. That's basically what you're seeing. But now we're watching the 1 minute, it just becomes a V-shaped recovery. But within that V-shaped recovery, you have most likely a higher low, and that higher low is most likely within the reload zone as well. So if we add the fib here, it's going to be that wick you see from the high. Not really, this is going to be like 50% or something like that. But this is good. This is good. So it shows us that buyers stepped in at this level. We're not going to be removing that order. And we are now getting ready to execute this trade idea once again with a buy stop limit. Okay, let's see if we can get that breakout. Switch to, let's add RSI as well. Let's see what happens here. Testing that 50 again. So a recovery of the 50% level on the RSI in 1 minute would be a good sign here. My account, is it a eval or funded? This is an evaluation. This is an evaluation account. Hopefully I can get it up to funded. So we'll see. What are you thinking, Ayush?
I'm actually marking an area where to explain everyone how I take a trade on gold. I'm setting things up. Can I share my screen? Yeah. Gorobor is asking, well, what's view on gold? It depends on what time frame you're asking. So I feel this is the best A+ setup for me, actually formed on the gold, which I really like to scalp on the 5-minute chart using the 30 range footprint chart. So at the top you can see that price, the bulls were really aggressive at the 8:33 candle. Price went into the low volume node, or you can say edge of a high volume node, which I use as supply and demand. Number one, confluence. Second, aggressive buyer coming in at the low volume node, which I really like to watch. And on the footprint, on the 30 range footprint chart, you can see at the price level 4140, the buy ask is really higher, but still the candle closed bearish. Means the aggressive buyers are trying to buy at the price level at 4139, but there is a very heavy passive limit order at that price level, not letting the aggressive buyer to cross that area. Even though they are really aggressive, candle closed bearish, means the passive traders were more aggressive. So what we can see right now, it's 32 aggressive buyers, but I'm assuming there will be more than 32 passive sellers sitting at that low volume area. That's where you can see a really good flush down. So these two candles is something which I take in a day on gold and call it one trade, and just leave the market with a very bad price action on the low on the 5-minute chart. So this is something which I like to catch on PAX. So it's like a quick view how you can break one 5-minute candle using 30 range. It's like you can see everything happening inside one candle, and the first candle showing us this weakness, aggressiveness. Let me zoom in this, maybe not zoom in, but scroll on the left, so you can see this at the point, at the exact price level. The ask is really high, even though you can see a red candle here. Did showcase that in the low volume node we have aggressive passive sellers and buyers. So buyers getting weaker, got absorbed, and you can see a flush lower. I know it's just 2 5-minute candles. For me, it is a trade on a lower time frame. So yeah, so I think the guy was asking lucky LOHX how I use it. So that's how I use on the lower time frame. It's really itchy for me on the higher time frame, to be honest. I'm not really good intraday or a swing trader. I'm good on lower time frames. And
okay,
that's the word for
Jonathan. I just went long here on Bitcoin. I'm really liking the level here. So we'll see if we can make anything out of this. Is getting a good risk to reward down here. But we can also, of course, just continue lower. If that's the case, I'm probably going to flip short here. Now, the whole idea with this setup is hoping that we're going to be holding this level because we're hitting that reload zone. Okay, good. We're getting that reaction right now. 1 minute is, what did I do? Okay, what happened? Stop sharing. All right, so we got the 1 minute closing in a couple of seconds. Oh, wow. Okay, that was not a good close. It looked very, very good, but then we had that wick. Oh, shit. Sellers are coming in here.
Yeah.
Sellers are not, they're hunting that stop. They're sniffing that stop. They're like, instead of having those dogs that sniff for drugs, they have like dogs sniffing stop losses. That's what we have. This candle is a dog and sniffing, and it has a what is it? A trail of I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, looking good again. Oh, this is the most bipolar industry you can be in. It's like 1 minute you're depressed, 1 minute, and then the next minute you're like, oh, it's a good candle. It's a good candle.
That's me on the lower time frame.
Yeah. That's why I should not be on the lower time frames at all.
Let's see how many likes do we have. I think in any moment Derek's gonna join us.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look at that candle. Come on, do something. I mean, it's obviously doing something. There's a lot of volatility here, though, but it's not the wrong type of volatility. Not the volatility I want to see. Oh. Okay, let's see if we can get. Oh my God, this is dumping completely. That is not good. Not good. Not good. Well, it looks like I'm going long in the downtrend, so I should, shouldn't be very surprised about that. How many lots did I buy? I don't know. I used out of 7. Looks like I bought 7, but you know what? I don't really think about lot sizes or position sizes. I just think about, okay, how much am I risking per trade? All right, Dirk, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Derek.
I am great today. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be with you guys again.
Yeah.
How are you?
Not too bad. It's a bit hot here. We are like reaching 35, 36 degrees here around Berlin.
Wow.
And of course, in Germany, nobody has an aircon. So,
of course,
I have my ventilator like directly at my body, so I can pretend, that I'm very cooled down and not sweating at all.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's getting pretty warm here as well. And I'm trying to have a conversation here while also trading here on the 1 minute, which, is not something I would recommend. We're getting some warm weather here in Sweden as well. It's pretty nice. Get like 20, 25 degrees, something like that. So it's doable. And I work in the basement here, so it's like it's cold in the basement. I like that.
24, 25 is like the perfect temperature.
Yeah.
I mean, anything above that, it's like, but it's also typically German. If it's too warm, Germans will complain. If it's too cold, they will complain. And it's German nature to complain about everything. But I'm just complaining about the markets.
Ayush, I will actually have to. I have a quick call that I have to jump on, and then
Sure.
I will be back as quickly as possible. So you'll have the honor of entertaining Dirk. I hope you have some great stories to share. But Dirk, I will be back with you guys in. As soon as I'm done with that call. Hopefully it shouldn't be taking more than like 10 minutes or so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you, man.
See you guys soon.
So, what have you guys been trading?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Chad is mainly active with the coins and the gold and stuff. But I'm really excited to take a look at the indicator you shared in the last stream, which is really helpful for the high time frame view. Yeah, I mean, I'm really terrible trader on the high time frame, but it's helping me really well.
You mean the open interest indicator, or which one was that?
Yeah.
I think that one is very useful when you trade with which
crypto. Was integrated with the Binance.
Yep.
So
Binance.
I think today. Yeah. And the chart looks really amazing. I think there is a lot of things on their trading view. I'm excited to learn every single indicator you have.
Yeah, I released another one, which is actually very useful for crypto. Actually, I have a bunch of them now, and we can talk a little bit about how I use them to stack up Confluence, if you want, on this stream. So the one you are talking about is basically the one. I don't know. I think my chart is on right now. Yeah, really. Okay, great. The one you see down here, the open interest price quadrants, which basically gives you signal, once how to say that in English, once the momentum of liquidation has gone away to the upside or to the downside. So that one is useful. I released another one, which I think is also very useful. It's not so good to see last week, called Aurora. And this basically paints what you see right here now. It's not very prominent. There are not so many zones at the moment. So maybe let's have a look at gold, for example. That's more one which reads order footprint or volume footprint on TradingView, which is a feature that's not yet very popular on TradingView, maybe also because they've gated it. So you need to have a premium subscription on TradingView to have access to this. And what this indicator basically tells you is where the last times were sitting sell or buy orders. So if we look, for example, at the gold future here, you can see, for example, when price earlier went into this zone, there were basically sitting buy orders. So sitting limit buy orders absorbing the sell pressure. Now, we don't have a super large move today on gold, so it's not that prominent. But this one, of course, then acts as a natural zone of defense. And what I like to do then is I like to align this, for example, on Bitcoin with phases, for example, where the open interest price quadrants tell me this is now where, for example, sell pressure is exhausting itself. And if that aligns, for example, with a zone where natural buy limit orders, if we talk about price coming down, or sell limit orders, if we talk about price coming up, are sitting, then you have these layers of confluence. What I like to do then on top of it is that I have a bunch of classic indicators, but not in the classic versions. So for example, the MACD here, which I also modified a little bit to make it a bit more modern, because it's one of these indicators where everybody has been using the same settings basically for 50 years, and it was designed for completely different markets than we have nowadays. Plus, I'm a big fan of a super trend indicator, but one bad thing about super trend is it's always very choppy. If you have these whipsaw markets. So I created my own version of it, which becomes a little bit more stable before it starts changing trend. For example, you can see this here, with normal super trend, you would have had all the time that that it's flipping from bull market to bear market. This one is a little bit more stable. So what I like to do is I like to create something where I say, for example, I want 2 out of these 4 indicators at least to be aligned in order for me to consider to take a trade. That was very early the case this morning. Of course, I didn't take that trade. I was still sleeping there. So around 5 o'clock this morning, Central European time, we got a divergence on my version of the MACD. Plus, we were still in a bear market according to super trend. Plus, back then we were sitting at, when we look at the standard deviation of a market, at +2 or +3 sigma level. So then you would have 3 or 4 indicators or methods of looking at the market kind of aligned, which then gives me more confidence. I know a lot of people are always looking at this one holy grail indicator out there, that can basically show you everything, that is correct always, that works in every market regime, but it's not possible. This is what for me makes trading also so exciting, that there's always this last part of human input that you need in order to, especially on the lower time frames, I think, be a successful trader, and especially in crypto.
I have a question related the data. I think you are loading on TradingView. Is it from an exchange? You on the gold chart, you have that buy limit, the footprint chart.
Yeah.
which is aggregated with which exchange? Is it Rhythmic or is it?
No, this is directly from CME for gold, for example, and especially this indicator Aurora. You need really the volume data. The problem is on CFD charts. Like if I would go now and load, for example, let's punch in gold here from or under, that's always very popular. That's a CFD, contract for difference. It will display volume, but the volume is measured in ticks. It's not measured in real volume. And for this one, and I highly suggest this also for any indicator analysis you do, you want to know the real volume. You want to know like how much buyers were there, how much sellers were there, and especially also the footprint, meaning where were nesting buying and selling orders sitting, because that gives you the true level of support and resistance. If you know that, wow, okay, here on gold, last time we went up into this zone, there were a lot of pending limit sell orders sitting. So by logic, it's like the next time we go into this zone, it might be that these people that got into sell positions there will be eager to defend that zone. And I think that's more worth, than just, if I turn off this indicator, just draw lines. I probably would draw the line then somewhere here. It's what we always do. Try to select like pivots where the market bounced the last time. And like, I'm not saying don't do that, that's very helpful, of course, as well. But it's nice if you can align these zones with where were really buy and sell orders, limit orders sitting the last time. And you on TradingView, you can get this data from CME. So for example, for gold, the symbol is 6B1. What is that last symbol in English? Hyphen? I don't know, honestly speaking. What exclamation mark it is.
Yeah.
And for example, for Nasdaq, for the Standard & Poor's 500 is ES1 exclamation mark, and NQ1 exclamation mark it is for the Nasdaq, for example. And the nice thing is for Bitcoin, you want to be sure, or for any cryptocurrency, that there's a perpetual future available. And then I would always go with the Binance perpetual future data, just because there's the most volume on this exchange. So you can be pretty sure that this is also the best snapshot of reality when it comes to order books.
Mm-hmm. And also I really like it because people really struggle with using the Bookmap, because I am really active there, but it's good to have on TradingView, because TradingView interface is really easy, and the indicator is making it more super simple for people trying to understand where the passive players are placing their orders.
What is that? The Bookmap, I think, is the indicator, no?
Yeah.
The software there. It's a very powerful software, but I think it's a bit too much for beginner traders, because it shows you everything, and I opted here to just show you the prominent zones. I don't care if we have like 10 more zones layered up. I'm showing these two. You can see here very faint in the background. Still levels sitting as well, but these are not levels, especially if we're day trading, if we're scalping, that at this precise moment, are of any concern for us.
Yeah. It's also very clean, on the Bookmap, it says there are many levels marked. And if you are very new to Bookmap, it's very difficult to find the exact level. But with only 2 levels or maybe 3, it's easy to focus with the price level we have on the chart TradingView. So yeah, that is something I'm really going to use, Dirk. Thank you so much for actually making it.
You're welcome.
I thought it's really impossible to bring CME data to TradingView. I thought there is no way to aggregate data on the TradingView.
They have it since the beginning of the year now, but it's flown a little bit under the radar. Of course, getting the data directly from CME is still the preferable options, also because there are some limitations within PineScript, which is the coding language for creating strategies, for creating indicators on TradingView. So like for my real trading, I still have like direct access to CME data and over the Binance API for perpetual crypto futures, because I have like a Python array running in the background that is much faster in computing stuff also. But I think for visualization, there are not many people out there on TradingView who utilize the footprint engine that we introduced in 2026. I think they didn't make it very, they didn't like advertise it very much. And the sad thing only is that you can only access it if you are on the premium tier. So that's a bit of a bummer there. Are you guys trading anything right now? Any positions you're in? Or?
Actually, I was explaining the same area which your indicator marked the liquidity level on my chart. And it's pretty surprising that the same analysis I shared just right before you joined the stream, the same level where we had the limit orders placed. So I'm a lower time frame trader for me, so I think I'll be trading after the NY session, mainly gold.
Yeah, you can come. That's the beauty of it, no? You come as experienced traders to the same results by going different ways. By the end of the day, it's always about support and resistance, supply and demand. And it's just a question, what is appealing to your eye and displaying it. So you are reading order footprints in your trading as well.
Yeah, that's my main backbone of my trading. But the good thing is, as you said, we have many traders with the Tradeify crypto. Every single one is using a different strategy, but somehow every single time we'll come across the same level on a single pair on the same time frame. So it's like different way of looking at market.
Yeah, there are so many different ways of looking onto the markets, and whatever works for one is good, as long as the more important part anyway is, and nobody wants to hear that, usually your risk management. You can be you can have and I say that because throughout my career, in 95% of the time, the first question I always get when somebody hears, I'm a trader and I've been doing this for 26 years, is like, oh, what's your success rate? And if I tell them, well, if it's like a good month, I might be somewhere at 54%. If it's a bad month, maybe at 45%. But in both cases, I'm usually still earning money. And they're like, oh, this is very bad. I have this super indicator, it's correct 95% of the time. And even if that might be the case, the problem is they throw high leverage at that. They enter like, I don't know, I have $1,000 on their account, and then they build up a position size of 100,000. And even if you are correct 9 out of 10 times, this one time is going to blow your account. And the way usually these bots and strategies work with this very high success rates is that they don't close losing positions. So they stay in losing positions in the hopes that eventually they will recover again. That's why you always have to look at what is the account balance and what is the account equity actually. If you see like, 150K account balance, but the equity sits at 10,000, they are sitting on a lot of losses they don't want to show you.
Yeah. So, Derek, I have a really stupid question.
I don't think there are any stupid questions.
So I'm not a coder, and these days it's really easy to make an indicator using Claude, ChatGPT and stuff. So do you think a person who know nothing about coding and stuff can make their model, make an indicator and plant it on TradingView with ease? Or
I think that's very easy, especially if you use Claude Code. I use Claude Code myself a lot because I always think, why do I have to do the coding myself? Not that I couldn't do it, when I can offload that somehow. What most people forget is that you are nowadays kind of like a project manager. You still need to have the steering wheel. You still need to know what, for example, Claude is doing there. It doesn't help you, and I know a lot of people do it like this. If you type into Claude or ChatGPT something like, oh, build me an indicator that is always correct, build based on the RSI, don't make mistakes. You always have to remember these large language models are trained in a way to please you. So their main goal is always to satisfy you, and it will for sure show you something then that looks amazing, when in reality it's not amazing. So that's why my approach is always, for example, with the indicator released today, this modern adaptive supertrend, the coding part itself is very easy, but the way that it's actually performing is to backtest it. So parallel to the PineScript version, I always have a Python version where I backtest this indicator on out of sample data and walk forward with it to see, is it, for example, does it have an edge? If it doesn't have an edge, does it add value as a layer of confluence to my trading strategy, which in this case is true. Works like beautifully with these open interest price quadrants, with my modernized version of a MACD. And the people always just see, the code, which might be like 300 lines of PineScript code, and think like, oh, this was maybe vibe coded or something. What they don't see is like the whole backtest. What they don't see is that I actually understand what on a mathematical level goes on there. I think that's important. I always compare to you learning a new language. When you might be very quickly able to order some food or introduce yourself, but if you come up to the point where you are able to fluently communicate with natives, it's a whole different story. We're talking about at least like a year probably of hours every day of training to reach that. That's true for the three of us. No, I don't think anybody of us is a native English speaker, yet we are able to communicate in English, but it took us a long time to get to this point. And I think with creating indicators or trading strategies with AI, it's the same thing. If you are fluent in the concepts, mathematical concepts that those indicators are based in, if you are somewhat fluent in coding, it's much easier to get to the right endpoint, and you are less likely to take to at a crossroad choose the direction that is not going to lead to success. I hope that makes a little bit sense. It's like it's very quickly nowadays, I think, with AI that anybody can sell themselves as a genius. And many apps do that. No, many apps are like, oh, you just need to use our AI, and then magically your social media presence is going to get 1 million clicks. It's not as easy as that. It's like I still think the biggest factor of success in the equation of success is diligence and not talent, and for sure not AI. I have the opposite problem with AI because it allows me to do so many things so much faster than I was able to do. I tend to do like 10 projects at the same time, resulting in with me not finishing anything. So this is really something in the past half year that I've been trying to force myself. Do like 2 things parallel or 1 thing only, and not 10 things parallel, because you think you have all these ideas and you immediately need to follow those ideas and see if they actually pan out into, for example, a profitable trading strategy.
Yeah, that's an issue I have as well. By the way, I closed the Bitcoin short here, so I made back some of the.
You closed already.
Yeah, made back some of the lost profit there from the last trade. But yeah, I agree with you. I got a lot of projects that I'm working on as well, and recently it's almost like you're getting addicted to that, the AI. It's like it's the same as when I was younger and I was playing a lot of games or like video games, and you could feel that time just flies. It just disappears, when you're focused on the game. And it's the same with AI and the same with Claude and coding. It's like you can do so many different things, and then you have all of these ideas that you want to do, and you want to do everything at once. But now I've started to kind of I gotta focus on the important things first, and then I can allow myself to spend some time with Claude. and you give it as a reward.
Especially dangerous with this remote access. No, you can have like three different coding sessions, and then you kind of stir them all over your mobile phone. While at 11 p.m. at night, you are sitting in your bed when you actually should go to sleep slowly. It's like, I want to do this one more thing, and this one more thing that takes another half hour. In another half hour. Yeah, I think the analogy you made to gaming is really like it.
Yeah, I usually leave my phone in the downstairs when I go to bed. But then when I'm studying CMT and kind of like reading up on news and things like that, I have a like a reading tab. I don't know what it's called, but it's a tablet that you for reading, right? Like an ink
like
tab
Kindle.
and
Amazon Kindle.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like a Kindle, yeah. And it's like an Android-based type of Kindle. And I realized I can now use Claude on it, which is then, and so now I can have a remote session and I can have Claude on it. So now I'm sitting there and like laying in bed, just remote coding, which has completely destroyed my sleep. So I will have to do something about that, obviously.
Yes, it's really about personal discipline and sleep hygiene, so to say. I now, when I go to sleep, I actually put my mobile phone into flight mode so that I don't have a chance of getting distracted by not only messages from Claude, it's about anything. Because I also noticed, I'm like, part of my job is actually to read a lot. I'm reading basically every day, 24/7, so to say, to catch up on what's going on in the markets or read interesting books. And I recently noticed that my attention span when it comes to reading has gotten shorter, which is something that never happened before in my life. But now I'm like, sometimes, I read and then I'm like, yeah, I've read this, but I didn't understand it because I was with parts of my brain thinking about something else. And from what I've heard or read online, this seems to be an issue also with many senior and junior engineering teams at companies that use these coding tools like Claude, that they somehow get into this lazy mode where they just accept whatever Claude throws at them. And I think if you're able to not do this, if you're able to pull the discipline up and really act like a project manager, that has knowledge of not necessarily coding, but of the overall structure, especially when it comes to trading strategies, you need to have a lot of focus, for example, on that your price data is good and clean, because one small kink in price data can screw up your whole system when you optimize it and test it out of sample. And things like this, you still need to use your brain. We are not that we can be totally replaced, hopefully. That's going to be next year. Next year we are replaceable.
Right, yeah. And you said something that with earlier, that AI, like they want to please you and they want you to be happy. And it's so obvious, like when I'm working with Claude, it's like, it's ridiculous because you have to you can't, whatever it tells you, you can't really take it seriously. You need to be able to read between the lines, right? Because I'm working on creating a type of trading plan, you could say, where I'm trying to find the best indicators for me based on all the different first principles in trading. So, for example, I want to have a way of identifying trends, and with that, I use market structure and moving averages. And then I want to have some type of information from volume, and then I want to have information from momentum. So I'm trying to, all of these foundations, I want the indicator that works best for me. So for example, on momentum, I'm using the RSI, where I'm basically only looking for divergences on the RSI. And that's really everything I need to know from momentum. So I'm having this conversation with Claude where I'm it's helping me organize all of this into an actual trading plan. And it says something, right? It says like, oh, for volatility, you want to use Bollinger Bands. But Bollinger Bands is based on moving averages, and it tells me that, and because you're using moving averages in trends, you can't use the Bollinger Bands because it's based on the moving average. And I'm like, but it's two completely type of indicators. Like Bollinger Bands is measuring volatility using standard deviation, and the moving average is just a moving average. And I then ask it like, are you sure? And then it tells me, oh, you're so smart. You're so smart catching that.
Absolutely
wow,
right.
Look at Bitcoin, by the way. That I wanted to buy that level. I got a little bit distracted there. Wow, that's a big move on Bitcoin.
I think there must be something news-wise, no?
It's NY Open.
What is happening? Oh, it's the Open. Damn. Do you guys remember before Dirk
it's New
joined?
York
I had
Open, right.
yeah.
Sorry.
Before Dirk joined, I had a limit order right there. It's
Was it executed?
Interesting. No, I actually closed it. I removed it for some reason. But okay, this is an interesting move right here. Let's see what we're gonna make out of this. I don't think this is sustainable though. So if we come higher, then I'd like to actually short this.
Yeah, I think it's a bit difficult. Somewhere around 62,600. There could be potential short.
62,500, right?
600, yeah. Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Yeah,
Plus, minus.
Yeah. At least I mean, we might get a move to the upside, but maybe we might break above that level, of course, later today or sometime this week. But I think a move like that on the open, I think we're gonna get a mean reverting move here. So let's see. It's a good volatility here. Let's see if we can ride that volatility.
Straight up.
But in general, I still would like to fade this move, to a downside, honestly speaking, because we've been so stable in a downtrend today.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why the Americans would just wake up and Bitcoin would be bullish all of a sudden.
That looks more like a margin call, maybe. Somebody had to buy
Yeah,
to cover.
that's true. That is very true. Okay, so we're having some low time frame support here. We're holding that level. It looks like we potentially want to see a move higher. So in case we get that one of those crazy wicks again, I am going to put in that limit, that stop order again. We might not come up to that level, but we'll see. I'm gonna have a wider stop loss on this one. So we'll see what we can make of this.
I mean, we had on the 15 minutes earlier today, when was that? Like 2.5 hours ago, that we came out of long liquidations quite strong. But then we immediately started selling off again. That's why I don't think I want to trade this. I mean, and to the upside at least. For me, that's more like, we didn't quite go up there. That's a shame, actually. Let's see if we do that. So really around 62,550 to 600. I could see taking a sell order, actually.
Okay, so I got a long up here. Okay, I'm closing that one. So we got small profit on that one. Let's see.
You're a scalping machine.
Yeah, there's not much to do in terms of swing trading today, so might as well just focus on the lower time frames. It's My best trading is just I buy something and I hold it for months. That's and now I figure out, with my forex trading, I have to work on either I have to work on a system where I'm entering and exiting I have a swing trade, a long-term idea, but I enter and exit that idea on a weekly basis because otherwise the swaps are going to be too big.
Yeah, that's the thing with Forex always, no? The overnight financing swaps, they kill you very quick. I just had this in a dollar-yen position where I shorted it and it just kept going sideways and I'm paying too much every day for that kind of trade. And ironically, for me, it's also... I don't know why. I still, after all this time, I cannot put my finger on it when it comes to day trading. I'm actually very good, when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But when it comes to Forex or gold, I'm shit. Really. I cannot figure it out why, Is it because the markets are more mature? But, I mean, Bitcoin is also very mature. We're talking about $1 trillion asset class. Are we still at $1 trillion? Near to $1 trillion when it comes to Bitcoin. But somehow... things are different in crypto. It's really weird. I mean, I like it, because I can make money off it. But I still have to figure out when it comes to scalping, when it comes to day trading, how to do that on gold and Forex.
Yep. It's definitely difficult. But I mean, I remember Anastasia recommended futures because they do have futures contract for the major FX pairs.
I know, and I'm using them now instead of CFDs because
Nice.
we just talked about this while you were away. So me and I'm sorry, what's your name again? Our other co-host.
Ayush.
Okay, Ayush.
Ayush.
Okay,
You're just quiet. You're staring.
it's like, why is this bald guy talking so much? I cannot tolerate it anymore. We were actually just talking, jokes aside, about this. That in order to look at order footprints and do volume analysis, you need real volume. It doesn't help you to. Also, if you use something like VWAP or something, it doesn't help you if your order data is based on ticks. You want to know what really happened. Especially where are
price level.
Nesting, sell order limits, buy order limits, and so on and so forth. You still can just see them in hindsight or like what it was in the past, but I think if you know, like at this level, there were a lot of buy limit orders, for example, executed or sell limit orders. That makes it a real zone of support or resistance and not something where you just drew a line on what is a pivot level.
Yeah. I mean, they are the best when it comes to combining the knowledge we have about the supply demand and using the limit orders in market. It really gives enough confidence and confidence to trade at the price level instead of guessing that, okay, we have a bullish candle, we should go long. No, but having a data where we have a lot of limit orders placed and waiting for price to get absorbed or accept the orders, it's really good tool to use in trading. And that have given me really good confidence in terms of like trading gold. I was really terrible trading gold with the normal supply demand stuff I used to trade in the 2019. But today with the order flow and the data we have in the market and a lot of tools are available, it is really like easy for me on the lower time frame.
Yeah, and I think also, I think probably a lot of viewers out there are looking at something like price action. And if you see let's say you have a zone where you can see, there were a lot of nesting buy limit orders executed, and then you see, for example, a bullish engulfing pattern. I think that has a totally different flavor than just seeing the bullish engulfing pattern and saying like, oh yeah, this looks like we had a pivot down here as well. But then again, what am I to say? There are a lot of people that do it totally different and are successful as well. By the end of the day, you have to find your way of doing stuff.
It's exactly what I always tell viewers.
We're getting reflected now here. We're at the +2 sigma level. In Bitcoin, we are getting deflected to the downside. That could have been a pretty good shorting zone here, in my opinion. On the 5-minute chart, that is. Don't know if you can switch quickly to my chart, so I can visualize this a little bit.
Switch to Dirk.
So earlier I was talking about this zone up here, about 62,600. But you see this, we just had a lot of resting sell orders being executed here. So, the market buying pressure was totally absorbed by the limit sell orders that were sitting there. It's not a super prominent zone yet because it just has been tested one time, but we have a slightly positive order delta. I would like to see that negative actually. So it's not like a completely good zone, but there is a chance that either we are reflected here or we do something like this, in my opinion. That's, at least for me, like the highest possibility of what could be happening, let's say, in the next 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let's see if we can get some... I think... we had the US Open and then we reclaimed an interesting level and then we're just consolidating around here. So I'm thinking we're probably gonna hit that 62.5 area.
Yeah, could be.
I think that would be a good short. Let's switch over to my trading view here. Let's see, where do I have that trading view? Be zooming out here a little bit. Look at what we have here. Price looks very weak here. I think there's a, if you look at the behavior, like what Bitcoin usually likes to do is it likes to trend up and then dump. You can see it in all bear markets, right? Even here on this one, it's like you get that uptrend and then move down, and you have a small uptrend and a move down, and then uptrend, move down, uptrend. So it's almost it's always that. It's very rare that you get a move down and then it's consolidating with slightly bearish characteristics and then another move to the downside. You usually trend up locally for a while before you dump. So I would not be surprised to see, I think a move up to like 65.6 or 65.8 is highly likely, and maybe even a move up to 70 or the area between 70 and 72. But if the market and especially Bitcoin is still bearish, then I think this is the level to sell, around 70, 72, in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see what.
Are you still in your swing trading short? I know that you sold like at 78 or something, no?
No, I sold at 60, I think 62.
Really? Oh, I thought you, last time I remember that you wanted to sell at the higher prices.
No, I think I sold at 60, somewhere around 62, maybe 65 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I had my order down there, and then it got filled on this move to the downside. And now I'm only spot short, I guess. I'm looking to start adding to Bitcoin. I'm just not sure why, and I actually feel like the hype around Bitcoin is changing. Like the whole fundamentals of Bitcoin is. I'm not going to say that the fundamentals of Bitcoin is changing, but Bitcoin now exists in a different world. You know?
because the new hype is AI,
Yeah, but also for good reasons, right?
Yeah, but what is going to be the natural currency of AI systems to use?
Well, I did see an interview. Like, I have no idea. Obviously, I'm not into economics in that sense to really know what makes good money. But there was an interview with a guy who's actually cited in the Bitcoin white paper, and he talked about how like measurement of energy, like kilowatt hours, to base it on something that measures energy. And it's kind of like, Michael Saylor talks a lot about how Bitcoin is energy, right? And how Bitcoin is created by using energy to mine Bitcoin. So it's interesting, and because I don't think Bitcoin is the best form of money, but it's close, but some type of measurement of energy, in a sense.
I mean, what is interesting is that I haven't read really into this, so take it with a grain of salt, please. I read something about some company was created a token that is based on demand and supply when it comes to GPU cycles. So basically what AI needs to do, what AI does, which is normally heavy computing powers, especially GPU powers. And they created a token which allows to buy and sell these computing cycles. And there I was also like, well, this could be like a new form of, if it's not just, a scam or whatever, but this could be a new form of currency for AI systems, to sell. If there's a high demand for it, to sell operational power, computing power, and if there's low demand, to start buying it and then in the hopes of selling it higher again. But for that, of course, you need the IT infrastructure to do that. So you need to have your island with your super data center on it.
Yeah, I also think, I mean, now that we're getting AI, it's the questions of existential questions, and like the whole, you can question human dominance
how come every time we stream together we get to these existential questions?
Yeah, but it's like you asked me, sir, you asked me about what's going to be the next currency, right? And then it's like, well, it's something that AI is going to create, right? We're probably not going to be creating that ultimate money system, because we know that sometime in the future, maybe 5 years or 500 years, right? But there is going to be an artificial intelligence that is going to be so much smarter than us that they're going to be solving decision. Maybe they're going to be, the conversation can always, in a sense, leads to that way for me now when we're talking about this.
I always say, if we die, let's go out with a blast at least.
Yeah, but it's not a question of I don't think it's a question of life and death. I think it's more about a question of what are we transforming into, right? Because we are creating a new species, right? Which is the first time in history that one species is creating another artificial species, right? And so it's a question of so humanity is probably going to evolve into something else, Speaking of technology, though, isn't it fascinating that we have companies like Anthropic and OpenAI spending billions, trillions, even maybe not trillions, but billions, and we can't even get Mike's camera to look good.
Well, you don't get yourself, I'm jumping in to test the connection and see if we've got it any better. I think it's better now. But also, Jesus guys, you talk about depressing everyone. I know it's the end of the show and everything, but come on, it's not all bad, is it?
Yeah, we're not even gonna do a giveaway, because I mean, what are you even gonna use the accounts for?
Yeah, what is it worth?
Oh my god!
And by the way, Mike's camera is much clearer than your camera, at least for me.
Yeah, it looks much better. Looks much better now.
There we go. All I had to do was disable all firewalls and allow my entire network to be hacked. And
great, you're being taken over by Claude Mythos as we are speaking.
Yeah, I heard Roman in the background confirming by saying, so I think that's good.
Roman, we need Roman as just like a voiceover for the stream that everyone can actually hear as well, because like on certain podcasts you have like producers, and everyone just doesn't hear the voice that we hear. So Roman, we need you on the stream as well. Otherwise, people just think we're just talking to ourselves.
Yeah, I think it would be good if you can enable.
I thought it was God talking to me through Tradeify.
We should tell everyone it's AI. We have an AI controlling. Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Here we go. We are at 62,500 almost now, guys.
Yeah, looks good.
So it's now or never.
Good.
Is this all New York open?
Yeah. Wow. Somehow somebody during the New York Open decided it's a good time to buy Bitcoin now.
Fair enough.
So because price started moving on the New York Open, that means it's traders trading not on a crypto exchange or a crypto derivatives, not a perpetual futures contract or anything like that, because otherwise why would they just wait for the New York Open? Then they can trade whenever, right? So this move has to be originated from like large institutional buyers based on markets that are opening on the US Open, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't interpret too much into it. There's a lot of automatic stuff that is like going on in the background, like New York market opens, maybe they're like accounts that need to buy right now because otherwise they are in danger of facing margin calls and stuff like this. And it's the same effect you have often with currencies during London Open and New York Open, that you see this one candle, and then in the background it's some companies that need to do transaction, to make sure they have enough dollars on their account 2 days around, because they know there's a big bill coming or whatever. And so I wouldn't interpret too much into this. I've looked a lot into trading strategies that try to fade these opens or that try to trade breakouts on these opens, and every single strategy so far has failed.
There's a ton of algorithms that run in the background for all of these accounts. Yeah. I've spoken to a guy who was writing and creating these algorithms back in the early 2000s for the likes of Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. He worked as a consultant for them, and he literally wrote the algorithms that they used back in the early 2000s. So the algorithms have been there for decades now, which is why the market is in a way so efficient. But as Dirk says, there are certain levels, there are certain triggers for these algorithms to say, right, okay, got to open a buy, got to open a sell. Obviously there's people sitting behind them, but there's a lot of automation and stuff that's been sat at institutional level for so many years, and they're always looking to tweak it and make it more efficient, because each and every one of these institutions is trying to make money from the other one, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost a case of cat and mouse, each one chasing the other, and us as retail traders just have to try and catch somebody's tail.
Exactly that. Yeah.
There's a very popular trading strategy called the ORB, right? The opening range breakout.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, in the trading industry, because let's face it, the trading industry, like a lot of other industries, are driven by
Ads.
social media hype,
Yeah.
right? Like, you have TikTok, something goes viral and someone becomes a millionaire, or maybe not a millionaire, but you have a drop shipping store or whatever, and your video goes viral. In a couple of hours, your whole stock is sold out, right? And it's kind of like the same in trading, where it's like you have a trading strategy that goes viral on TikTok, then some other influencers see that, and then they start creating content around that trading strategy. So now all of a sudden you have it all over the place. We had first we had ICT. ICT is still popular, but a couple of years ago, ICT was everywhere. It was the only thing you talked about in trading, right? And then now I see all of these other strategies starting to pop up, and one of them is the opening range breakout, the ORB. And the only way to be, I'm not going to say the only way, but I've tested the ORB strategy from a quantitative perspective many times on a lot of different, and it's just it doesn't really work from a systematic point of view. There doesn't seem to be a lot of edge in buying the breakout to the upside or the downside in the the first 5 or 15 or first hour of the opening range, right? But somehow there's a lot of influencers being super profitable with that strategy, and probably they're trading it in a discretionary way. And I don't know, maybe you can do it, you can be profitable with it from a discretionary point of view. But just like you said, Dirk, you've tested that, the opening price. How can we, can we fade it, or can we follow it? And it's I think it's very difficult because it's a very crowded trade, because everyone wants to trade at that time, and they want, like, okay, New York Open, lots of volatility, let's create a system around it. But it's very crowded, it's very volatile, it's very messy, very noisy.
And I think especially for us retail traders, one of the factors that, at least from my experience, makes a lot of automated, at least, trading strategies fail is also that you are never going to have institution execution. So you are very often prone to a lot of slippage when it comes to your order entries. And maybe if you guys have defined strategies before, when you try to put them into an EA and test them on the MetaTrader, for example, you see that suddenly the strategy doesn't perform as even your out of sample or your walk forward analysis was suggesting they would perform. And this is because real order execution is different, because a lot of people always like to trade on momentum, like breakouts, for example. But breakouts especially are where you get the most slippage, because even if your execution time is just 100 milliseconds, you are already later than 99.9% of the institutional traders that trade exactly the same. And these $3-4 or pips that you are losing on every trade completely obliterates your edge. This was not the case 25 years ago or even 20 years ago. Now it's really something, and it's one of the things I'm focusing for, at least shorter day trading strategies and scalping strategies, a lot on. How do I erode this delay in execution? How can I make sure that I am one of the first in the line when it comes to order execution? It's almost impossible, because you need like millions of dollars to do that without the guarantee to be able to be in front of a line. The alternative is always using limit orders, which is what I am doing. But using limit orders also means on these breakouts that you miss a lot of the trades that actually do break out, because they do it with a lot of momentum to be upside. So it's difficult nowadays without discretion to find an automated trading strategy. I think discretion is still something that we are better at than a lot of the algos out there.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think that's a great way to wrap up today's live stream, I believe, unless, Mike, you had something insanely important to mention.
I think this is incredibly important because Glenn has quite rightly pointed out that the giveaway celebrating our merging of the Discord from crypto Tradeify into the Futures Tradeify, now one large Discord, we are now giving away double the number of accounts that we were giving out before. So instead of 5 futures accounts and 5 crypto accounts, we're now giving away 10 futures accounts and 10 crypto accounts. So if you are not already part of the Discord, then frankly, you're missing out. So we've got over 80,000 members now in that Discord, and it's only going to grow because we've got big plans across the Tradeify group. So make sure you are part of that Discord. Don't miss out on that giveaway. We know you all love a bit of a giveaway. So get on in there. It's the easiest one you can do. You just got to click a button to join. So yeah, make sure you join, and we look forward to seeing you in the community.
Awesome. And don't forget to head over to Dirk's YouTube channel and give him a follow as well. He's been absolutely on fire lately, getting a lot of good videos out. Highly recommend, so make sure you check that out in the description, where we have a link to his YouTube channel. All right, guys, anything else you want to be adding? Otherwise, we will be seeing you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, at the same time,
good.
Same energy.
All right, good stuff, guys. Take care, and we'll see you all tomorrow. And thank you, Dirk, for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
Cheers, guys.